Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod bundle, and today we're checking out more must-have mods for Fallout 4. Now, I know we talked about this recently, and you guys did seem to enjoy that episode, but last time we were talking about specifically mods in 2022, and now I want to open it up to more mods from any time frame, as I think there's a lot of cool mods on this list that everybody should try out in their own load order. And these are definitely must-have mods, as these are all mods that I have in my active load order currently, so definitely worth grabbing any of these, as they're going to help spice up your gameplay a whole lot. For starters, we're going to be talking about the mod Start Me Up by TinyManticore. This is an alternate start mod that will completely change the way you experience Fallout 4 and make new saves. This is definitely one that I think is essential for anybody still playing in 2022, as it's going to change up that vanilla storyline a little bit and make it so that new characters are much more unique and enjoyable like an actual RPG. Now, when you launch the game with this mod installed, everything's going to seem the same. You're going to have the same old cutscenes, but whenever we skip over to the character creation and you've got yourself a nice, new, beautiful character, things are going to be a bit different. As soon as you try to exit the bathroom, it's going to prompt you with a new menu. This menu is going to have three options on it, the first of which says, "This is only a dream, I need to wake up." This is going to prompt further menus and help you create your brand new character. The second option says, "This is a memory, I don't want to relive this." That means that you're going to keep the vanilla character of the sole survivor, but you're going to skip through all of the pre-war elements. And then you have, "This is a memory, let's stay here a while," which is just going to be the standard vanilla startup if you do want to run the vanilla campaign. I'm going to go ahead and select "This is only a dream, I need to wake up," so we can check out the other menus in this mod. Once selected, you'll be prompted with a new menu that asks what is the last thing you remember, and you can select either "I was in the Commonwealth and had just stopped to rest," and that's going to put you into yet another menu to choose even more options about character creation, or you have "The bombs were falling and I had just entered a pod in the vault." This is also going to skip you straight past all of the pre-war stuff and just throw you into the vault at Vault 111, or you can go back and check out the other menus in case you made a mistake. Selecting the option that you were in the Commonwealth just taking a rest prompts you with the last part of character creation, which is a bunch of questions. You have questions like, "What makes me special?" This is going to be the standard area where you make your name and pick your special stats. You then get asked, "What are my unique traits?" And this is going to allow you to select some unique traits and perks similar to character creation in Fallout New Vegas, which really helps with the RPG style of this mod and helps to add even more uniqueness to your character that you wouldn't have had otherwise. You are then asked, "What am I doing with my life?" And that's going to allow you to select a new role for your character and help you roleplay even a bit more. You could choose a Brotherhood of Steel member, a raider, a wastelander, a mechanic, pretty much anything, and it's going to give you different starting gear depending on what you choose. Then you are asked, "Where were you really?" And that is going to allow you to select a starting location. And you can choose from a lot of stuff. You could just start at Vault 111, or you could start at a variety of locations. It's really up to you. And I believe there's even a surprise me option, which allows you to pick a random location, which is a lot of fun. You are then prompted with "What do I have with me?" which is going to allow you to choose the level of gear you spawn with, and it's really about quantity rather than quality. You get to choose if you only have a little bit of things on you or a ton of stuff on you. After that, the final question is "How much do I know?" and that is going to allow you to select the starting level of your character, which is a really nice thing to have. If you don't want to start at level 1, maybe you want to start as a character who has some wasteland experience, you can start at pretty much any level you'd like, so that's pretty neat as well. After you're done with that, simply select "Enough, I'm ready to wake up." It will double check that you have all of the perks and everything that you want, and then it will throw you into the wasteland with your newly curated character. And sometimes it's a nice surprise. You'll end up in a random location with random gear, and you'll be a bit confused, but that's a whole lot of fun and definitely way more interesting than the standard vanilla start. In my case, because I selected a raider who was with a raider gang, I have a bunch of friendly raiders around me and I'm in the middle of nowhere, so that's pretty cool. Now, as cool as this alternate start stuff is, it doesn't end there. You just made a brand new character who has nothing to do with the sole survivor, so what happens to the main quest line? Well, as soon as you're plopped out, you will be prompted with a brand new quest that will tell you to go investigate a nearby vault, and doing so will allow you to sort of start that quest line and see the events that took place in the vault, and then you can pursue them afterwards. Pretty similar to the alternate start mod for Skyrim. If you decide to pursue that, it's going to ask you to open up the vault, but that's no fun. We're trying to make a brand new character, so let's avoid that. Let's go somewhere else. But let's say you do run into some people who are essential in the main quest, or people who have ties to the sole survivor like Codsworth. Well, all of the dialogue is now completely different. Your character will have no idea what's going on, and as far as you're concerned, Codsworth is just a malfunctioning robot, and as far as Codsworth is concerned, you are crazy and have lost your memory. And so it adds some pretty fun and interesting conversations. I'll go ahead and let a couple of clips of that play now so you can see what I'm talking about.
And just who is this Sean, anyway?
Why, the missus had him last, remember? Oh, perhaps she's gone to the Parker residence to arrange a play date. I'm sure she'll be back with him momentarily.
I don't understand what's going on.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack. You must be famished.
But yeah, this mod is absolutely essential for adding tons of RPG elements and making every new character completely unique from the last, and it allows you to play Fallout 4 your way. No longer are you locked into that sole survivor role, chasing after your son Sean every time you play the game. Sadly, Start Me Up specifically is only available on PC, however there are a couple of other alternate start mods that I will link down in the description below for Xbox users, in case anybody on Xbox wants a similar alternate start mod for their game. Now up next we have a weapon mod, and quite frankly this was just one that I really wanted to include in the must-haves of 2022, so I figured I might as well include it in this pack, and that is the lore-friendly 556 collection by jcruz05. To me, this weapon pack is an absolute must-have for anybody who's looking for lore-friendly classic weapons from past Fallout games. This is going to, one, not only add some cool classic weapons, but two, flesh out the 556 weapons in the sandbox of Fallout 4, because in Fallout 4, the only 556 weapon is the standard assault rifle, and well, we all know how I feel about that thing. This mod is going to add 3 brand new weapons that all use 556 and are definitely super balanced in the sandbox. You're going to have a new R91 variant, you're going to have the classic New Vegas LMG, and you're going to have the 556 autoloader from the Van Buren project that never made it to full release. So you have some really cool options here. All of these weapons are of course added to their corresponding leveled list and spawn in places that do make a lot of sense. The New Vegas light machine gun and the R91 both come with custom animations, whereas the autoloader just uses 10mm pistol animations, which is absolutely fine. They fit perfect on this weapon. Each of these weapons has a unique variant, or in some cases 2, that you can go out and find in the world, bringing a ton of variety to the weapons you'll encounter with this pack. And of course there are a ton of attachments over at the weapons workbench as well. These weapons are all super cool. I've talked about them a couple times on the channel, but I just absolutely adore them. I remember waiting so long for this pack as I saw it teased over and over on Discord. I believe this thing was in production for about 8 months, and it was definitely worth the wait. This is an awesome pack if you're looking for brand new weapons or you're just looking to flesh out your leveled list in Fallout 4. The lore-friendly 556 pack is definitely one I couldn't stop recommending. This thing is absolutely amazing and is on par with tons of the really cool weapon packs out there. And on top of that, not only is it available in a pack, but you can also download each of these weapons individually. So if you like one but not the others, you can customize it to your liking. And it's available for not only PC, but Xbox as well. So if you haven't tried this out or you haven't seen it yet, go out and download the 556 collection, as this mod is super cool. But now that you have these weapons, you need to show them off. And that's why we're checking out the classic holstered weapon system by Shavkacagarikia. This is going to allow you to holster your weapons and they appear on your character. This seems like a very simple concept, but it's something that was included in past Fallout games and for whatever reason was removed from Fallout 4, which is really odd since it was even a thing in Skyrim. Yeah, not sure why they bothered to leave it out, but they did, and now modders have of course added it back in. Whenever you holster a rifle, it will appear on your back. Whenever you holster a pistol, it will appear on your side, and even when you holster melee weapons, they will appear on your left hip, just like they did in New Vegas and Fallout 3, which is really cool. This is a mod I get questioned about all the time. Every single time I throw up a video and somebody sees my character in third person, I see a comment that asks, what is the mod that allows you to throw the weapon on your back? And this is it. It's a very simple one. There's not a lot to talk about. Literally, it just works. You holster your weapon, and rather than putting it into a void, it just throws it onto your character's back. Super cool, super immersive, and it just makes sense. No idea why this was left out in the first place, but now it's back, and you should absolutely download this one. Sadly, its reliance on F4SE is going to make this a PC exclusive, so sorry for you console users, you cannot put weapons on your back, at least not in this way. Up next, we have a mod that is absolutely essential and a must-have to settlement builders, and that is Place Everywhere by TheLich. This is going to make it so that you can place objects anywhere. That sounds, again, very simple, just like the last mod, but this is a seriously necessary feature if you want to try building anything in the settlement system. For whatever reason, Fallout 4's vanilla settlement system is very restrictive on where and how you can place items, but Place Everywhere is going to completely break that system, allow you to place items wherever you want, and add a ton of hotkeys that allow you to take that even further with simple rotations, changing the axis on which you can rotate, scaling objects up and down, being able to phase them into the ground or into other objects, being able to ignore snap points, and even being able to go outside of the bounds of your settlement. There's a lot you can do with this mod that is absolutely necessary for getting every single item into the exact nook and cranny you want. If you want to build some highly detailed settlements, this one is a must-have, and if you're a settlement builder already, I'm sure there's no way you haven't heard of this, but in case you haven't, this one is essential. Sadly, Place Everywhere specifically is only on PC. However, there is an alternative that's very popular on Xbox known as Place Anywhere by Registrator 2000. It's a very, very similar mod. They accomplish the exact same goal of being able to place items in red or just about anywhere that you would need to. However, the method for doing so is slightly different because it is on console, it doesn't have access to the script extender, and you don't have access to all of the hotkeys that you would on a keyboard. So you're going to get the same end result, it's just going to work a little bit different. Sadly, I can't capture footage on that, but just know that you're going to get the ability to place items where you need to. So you will be able to have access to a mod like this on both PC and Xbox as well. And finally, that brings us to the last mod on this list, and that is Raider Gangs Extended by Specific. This is another mod I get asked about all the time. This adds a ton of new Raider gangs into Fallout 4. Not only is it going to rename some NPCs in the base game, but it's also going to add a ton of new NPCs and new gangs scattered around the Commonwealth. This is going to add a lot of life to the Fallout 4 ecosystem and add habitants to areas that used to be completely barren. Some places scattered around the world you may have found lore about different raider gangs that exist in the universe, but they were nowhere to be found whenever you actually played the game. But now, those gangs and others will be scattered around. They'll all have unique names and even unique looks. And on top of that, there's even a handful of bosses that are scattered around as well. Some of which hang out with these new gangs, and some of them are just by themselves, hidden in the Commonwealth, and you'll have to go find them and take them down. There's even some newly added lore about some of these new gangs that you can find scattered around the Commonwealth in the form of notes. This really helps to spice up the variety of enemies you fight. Even when you fight standard raiders, you may find some of these new gangs mixed in with them, or even fighting each other. And it's not just raider gangs. Even though this mod is called Raider Gangs Extended, there's more NPCs added as well, like chem dealers, NPCs who provide raiders with chems. You may find these guys out traveling on their own, or you may find them with a raider gang as they are their chem supplier. You can even find NPCs that are talked about in-game but never seen, like militia deserters. These are people who were once part of the Minutemen, but have decided to go their own way, and they are now hostile to anybody who is part of the Minutemen, and that includes your character. At this point, this mod is an absolute must-have for me. It adds so much variety to the combat and makes exploring so much more interesting. This is a really cool one, and it definitely helps to spice up combat in Fallout 4, which is a must-have now this late in Fallout 4's life cycle. This mod's super cool and definitely worth checking out, but sadly, it's only on PC. This one is yet to see a port, but maybe somebody out there could port this to Xbox. With that though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found at least one new mod to throw into your load order, though my guess is you guys will probably have a lot of these already. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a rating and consider subscribing for more videos just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video, and a very special thank you to Astro, Captain Chaos, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, Jackie Noid, Cushy, Moonlight Gamer, Feed, and Youth RC for signing up for that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you want to support the channel with Patreon, you can check it out in the description below, but it is completely optional. Thanks again so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace!